I've been trying to decide just how to communicate what I've seen. Where should I begin? The answer, when it struck me, was obvious. Start at the beginning. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. The Father and the Son existed before our universe. This I remember. The Father created our universe through the Son. Light came into being. It was begotten. This light was a vehicle for the Son. You could call it his soul. Through this light, all things were formed. I've created a website called cotemporality.com, in which I explain the way in which this was achieved, the way in which the universe has been structured, how it is that all things can be formed through one thing, how all things can be unified even though they appear separated. I am human. I am not perfect. I cannot say that I have succeeded perfectly in the attempt, but I do say that I have succeeded sufficiently so that together we can reach the perfected truth of the nature of the mechanics of this universe. Here are some of the secrets of the universe. In addition to 3 dimensions of space, there are 3 dimensions of time. There exists a permanent record of all activity in time. I call this the time-space record, but you could probably just call it the record of time, or even the record of creation. All instances in time are simultaneous. The perception of a flow of time is illusory. All possible pasts, presents, and futures already exist and are discoverable through the record. Looking forward in time, we would see a series of possibility-probability vortices. Each possibility has its own probability until the choice of possibility is made. Until that choice is made, we cannot know which path we will take. The paths exist, but which path is ours? In our cotemporal universe, free will is maintained. Our choices affect the limits of the universe. This makes us co-creators of the universe. We adorn the record of creation through the actions we take as a result of our free will. The entire creation can be generated from a single photon traveling through the dimensions of coordinate time and coordinate space. This is possible through cotemporal generation. Cotemporal generation is the generation of a copy of the fundamental unit, the photon, which occurs when that unit travels 1 increment forwards along the 3rd dimension of time. This copy exists cotemporally with the original, both appearing to be separate from our perspective in coordinate time and coordinate space. These units are capable of interacting in space and also share a connection through time. Motion forwards in 3rd dimensional time is motion into a higher energy state. The physical constants are a natural result of all things being formed from a single original copy of a single fundamental unit. And that unit is light, the light of Christ. He abides in us, and we abide in him. Therefore abide in him in spirit, and be more perfectly unified with him. Motion in time is quantized, which is how it is that motion along the 3rd dimension of time creates new units. At any particular intersection of the 3 dimensions of time, if you look upwards along the 3rd dimension of time, you see a connected series of lights appearing as a great ladder into the heavens. The full power in the creation at that intersection of time is measurable through the limits of the ladder. All things are connected to the 3rd dimension of time. Signals sent along this dimension of time explain phenomena such as quantum entanglement. Motion through the 1st dimension of time is motion in time as we commonly understand it, motion forwards and backwards in time. Motion through the second dimension of time is motion along variant timelines, also termed parallel realities or parallel universes. All possible outcomes occur. Therefore, make your paths straight, so that there is goodness in every possible action you might take, and minimal harm done. There is an infinite source of power from which all of the matter and energy of the universe is derived. There is no limit to this, the power of God, and no fixed amount of matter and energy in the universe, although there is a fixed amount at each intersection of time. All things are discoverable through all things. Each part of the creation contains the whole. This is because everything is formed of the same thing, travelling through the dimensions of coordinate time and coordinate space. This single unit simultaneously exists at all points of time and space where energy is found, being the very thing of which the energy is constituted. Any change made anywhere in the universe alters the entire universe. Both the internal and external worlds are inextricably linked. Even the smallest part of the creation shares in the full dignity of the creation. The stuff of the universe exists in a plenum. There is no empty space, only a lowest energy state, which to us appears to be indistinguishable from nothing. Every space is in this sense full. There is nothing outside of the Creator. Therefore there is no nothing, only various expressions of fullness. You could say that in a sense God has made room for us, in a way withdrawing so that we can be expressed, so that we can be. Each of us possesses a vehicle of light, a soul, through which we can interact with the universe. This vehicle can inhabit bodies and live out incarnations. Souls reincarnate. All things are alive, as all things are formed of the Creator, who is the source of all life. Everything is a form of thought, an expression of thought. We are thought. These beings of thought can evolve into higher states of being, higher states of thought. Those who occupy the lowest form of being can reach the highest level of being. Everything is formed of light, and every light is a vehicle for a child of God. Every light is a soul. Each of us is a child of God, although some reject God, and I'll tackle that issue another time. Remember that it says, "In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind." The light is alive, along with everything formed of it. Remember what Jesus said. He is not the God of the dead, but of the living. What then is death? The best definition I can reach for death is this: distance from God. You cannot escape the fact that God is your foundation, but you can reject him through your free will by your thoughts and deeds as a result of your character and circumstances. Life, then, is closeness to God, whom is described as being full of life. For now, then, I'll finish the way I began. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. For anyone who is interested, I have a more complete account of cotemporality theory on my website, cotemporality.com. I'll leave a link in the description below this video. The content on the site isn't yet complete, and I'll add to it from time to time, but it is a good start. I recommend looking at the section called Science and Spirituality to get the more complete view. Although, even as I've written the content for this video, I've made further insights into its implications. That's everything from me for the moment. There's so much more to share, but I need to think it through first. I want to do this the right way. All the best.